Another clockwork part had surfaced in India, so the boys and I loaded up the van and zeroed in on our next target, a mysterious spice lord known as Rajan. A self-made man who grew up poor on the streets of Calcutta, he started his life of crime selling illegal spices in the black market, eventually growing his small outfit to a sizable operation, and earning himself a seat in the prestigious Claw Gang. He's since crowned himself Lord of the Hills, and while he goes to great lengths to convince others of his royalty, it's mostly to convince himself. True to form, he's holding a lavish ball in his newly purchased ancestral palace. The reason? To show off his latest acquisition, the clockwork wings. The symbol of my enemy. If you saw the wings silhouetted against the night sky, it was already too late for you, especially if your name was Cooper. Rajan believes displaying the wings will bring him prestige, and maybe they will, but they're also bringing me.
That sounds like a good plan. Welcome to India, a very interesting and different place from what we're used to. Now, Sly's never been one for taking the main entrance, so we're just gonna find a way around this this unopened drawbridge. Now, thing is, oh shit, I just got caught. Smoke my bomb out of here. Thank you. Now, thing is, there's supposed to be a little cutscene that plays when you go to the side here. It just doesn't happen because I've exited to the episode menu and re-entered because I needed to redo some things, but whatever. Bentley just tells you that, oh hey, the drawbridge is up, so you need to find a way around this place for me and Murray to get around. Wah 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 wah, and so forth. It's not really important stuff. Good job! This is great. We have some bottles here. Now, this is one of two or kinda three paths you could have taken. There are some rocks on the right side, left side of the drawbridge as well that you could have alternatively taken. You're gonna have to want to go there. You're gonna have to want to go there? That's weird. You're gonna want to go there at some point eventually anyway, because there are some clue bottles there. And actually, it probably would have been a faster way to get to where we're supposed to go anyway. Now, we can already see by just walking around here, this place, compared to Paris, is very bumpy. Is a word I could use to describe it. As in, there's a lot of places and things to jump on and things to do and things.
I figured out how to sneak in above the ballroom without being detected. The only problem is there's no way to climb up to that balcony door.
Not a problem. There seem to be plenty of branches for me to walk on. I'll figure it out.
Bentley, I'm curious of your definition of no way, because there's clearly some way. But yeah, as I was saying though, India is a very interesting place, and it's definitely larger than Paris is, by all means. There's a lot more to see and look at here. And of course a lot more diverse and different places to go to and to explore and things, and most importantly to find bottles and stuff. I'm not gonna do that just yet, however, we're waiting for a little bit before we collect the bottles.
Easy does it, Sly. Just don't go out onto that balcony and you should remain undetected.
We need to take some pictures. We have a lot of pictures to take now. We can actually see Rajan right up there. How about we get a nice picture of his back?
Shots really pulled out all the stops to impress people with this party.
We also have, of course, our main attraction here.
Looks like the wings have been welded onto that statue.
And the other one for some reason.
They look heavy. Getting the wings out of here will be a real challenge.
We also have this electronic winch? Whatever that is. That is actually not a word I'm familiar with.
An electronic winch. That could be useful. Maybe you should get some shots of the guests.
Okay, sure. There's gotta be some interesting people here, right? Oh! There sure are some interesting people here, according to this list. How about this guy?
Jean Bisson. a member of the Claw Gang and Canadian shipping baron. He owns half the trains in Canada.
Wow, that's a lot of trains, I think. Hey, Bird.
Another Claw Gang member. Arpeggio specializes in exotic technology.
Does he happen to like playing chords in a note-by-note fashion of some sort of, you know, descending or ascending order? Well, it can also be in, you know, alternating orders and whatnot, but whatever. That ass?
Tessa, a high-ranking prison warden for Interpol. She must be working undercover to expose Rajan's spice ring.
You know, if the police were just all spider people, I think crime is the word I'm looking for. Crime would just be gone from the world if police were all spiders.
She must be undercover with the Contessa to help bust Rajan.
And lastly, of course, somewhere around here, I'm sure.
Neela, another officer undercover. Watch yourself, Sly. This party is crawling with cops. That's all the photos I need. Bring them back to the safe house, and we'll start building a game plan.
Sounds good. As a side note, you don't want to break anything in that room either for getting money, because that would also make you spotted by the guards. Hey, it's a new and bad FMV cutscene! And of course, a PowerPoint presentation.
Stealing the clockwork wings in the middle of a crowded ballroom is going to take some serious misdirection. And the squad of undercover cops only makes things more complicated. Although, we might be able to use them to our advantage. But no matter what we do in the ballroom, sooner or later we'll need to deal with Rajan's security chopper. Murray can take it out with some of the local armaments, but he won't be able to get inside the palace until Sly lowers the drawbridge for him.
Okay, so already at this point we're allowed to choose to play as Murray or Bentley, but there's no reason to yet because the drawbridge is still up, so they won't be able to get around. Before we do any of that, however, we may as well go to the Thief Net. Because in addition to obviously selling all the treasure we have, every time you enter a new chapter or area or episode or however you want to call it, the inventory will be restocked with some nice new moves. And at least 2 out of 3 I really recommend buying. The Size Destabilizer is an excellent move for Bentley in order to make him more viable for close combat. It'll be the first example for Bentley of a move that actually requires the special gauge, whereas his bombs and darts have been ammunition based, so up to this point they've all been unlimited. What it does is that when you activate it, it'll infuse your crossbow with this sort of shrinking power, making it so that the next time you hit an enemy, they'll shrink down and their attack and defense will be lowered. With Bentley both being fairly weak and fairly fragile, this is a great counter to his weaknesses. The turnbuckle launch is a move that'll make Murray jump higher. This might not seem very useful at the moment. One unfortunate aspect of this game is that a lot of the levels coming up were designed clearly with Sly in mind, and not so much his friends. And thus having this increased agility is going to make your life a little bit more convenient in the future. It's not a great increase, but it's certainly better than what he has now. Lastly, the combat dodge is probably good in the right hands, but those hands are not mine. It's a very quick and easy way for Sly to dodge out of immediate attacks. But personally, I find it kind of difficult to time, and I really cannot justify using that much of the special gauge doing something that you could easily do by just running or doing a knockout dive maybe and then do some damage in the process. It's a move whose purpose is served better and cheaper by other means anyway, which is why since I can only afford one of these two, I'm gonna buy the Bentley one. Now with all of that out of the way, I say we go and get the drawbridge down.
I can't get inside the palace unless you lower the drawbridge.
I'd love to, pal, but the winch is all locked down. You know where I can find the keys?
Key guards have recently taken up positions around the palace. Sneak in, pick all of their pockets, and bring the keys back to the lockdown winch.
Of course Bentley knows. Bentley knows everything somehow, even though he's literally never been here, seeing as he can't even get in, but fine, whatever. He knows stuff, that's all we need to care about. We don't need to think anything about why or how or anything like that. Wow, that's a lot of fucking money. Okay. Drawbridge winch key. Again, we have 5 keys we need to collect, and they're all... I mean, honestly, the textures look like they're made of gingerbread or something, which I guess would explain why they're so fragile. This is the alternate path you could have taken before, which I didn't. The reason I said there are 2, maybe 3 paths is because you can climb up that vine, but you can also go further this way. If you're noticing something strange, and you might, it's that the clue bottles are gone. I'll be showing this in the next episode, but I just went ahead and collected them all already, so I didn't have to worry about accidentally getting any and being bothered by the constant ticking around the world and things like that. It's just a convenience thing, more so for myself than anything else really. But now you'll know for future reference if you suddenly notice all the bottles being gone, without any mention of them being collected or anything. It's likely going to be shown in the very near future. Another drawbridge winch key here. Again, winch is a word I'm not familiar with. I guess that's the name of the things that like turn around and have a rope around them. Like, I'm thinking of these things where people are going into dangerous locations and they have this rope tied to them so that if they're in danger they can be pulled back. I guess they're then pulled back by a winch. That's interesting. Learning new English from Sly Cooper. Again, this game was a game... this is where I learned the... well, technically not English, but this is the game where I learned the word rendezvous. And fuck off. Jesus. And now we have winch, so, you know, this is an educational game, basically. Here you can see the... you can see the stats there that I already have, the 30 bottles. Of course, there's 30 again. Each area does have 30. There's no differences, unlike... like Sly 1. This guy is a bit interesting. He stands perfectly still. There's nothing you can do to move him. You know, aside from the one thing that you can do to move him. I don't know why I said it like that. But Bentley's saying what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hit this thing. As if you couldn't figure that out yourself. Bentley, cut me a break. I said Bentley was gonna calm down, and I still stand by that, but he's never gonna completely calm down, you know. As the third one, we now need to go this way. This place right here. There's one thing I really love about the Sly 2 areas, and that is, even me who gets lost very easily, has a fairly alright time navigating around the areas in Sly 2, and that is because, frig off. I feel like the levels in Sly 2 are designed very well. As in, they're large and interesting, but they're by no means daunting. They're sorta compact. There's stuff to see everywhere, and there's distinct stuff to see everywhere, not to mention. There's different kinds of landmarks and different points of interest that makes it really easy to navigate around and remember where you've been before and where you haven't and things like that. This area right here being a great example of that, because it's the only place you get to by crossing this big bridge. And then by extension of that, the bridge itself is also a great point of interest. This has always been one of the high points for me in this game, just exploring these big and interesting areas and finding all the clue bottles and the treasures and things, even though that's not exactly what we're doing right now, you get the point. It's by far one of my favorite aspects of this game, and I can just be looking around for stuff countless minutes and never feel bored doing so. And then that's just backed even more up by simple things like this, where just stealing money and taking down these little monkey guys is a great side activity. It's a nice distraction. Like I said, I never feel bored doing these things. I don't feel frustrated either. I just feel relaxed and have a good time.
Good job, Sly. Now take those stolen keys back to the padlocked winch to lower the drawbridge.
Thank you, Bentley. Again, these guys, well, not just these guys, but guys here in general, apparently, really like locking things up a ton of times.
Thanks, Sly. Now Murray and I can access the palace grounds.
Awesome! And with that, we're gonna end things off right now, because we have just opened up access for Bentley Murray to get around very easily around this place, which has also opened up at least a new Murray mission, and obviously we're going to be doing some Bentley stuff later on as well. So next time, we're going to be doing one of these. I haven't decided which yet. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.